Leave me alone, Ray.
What's the matter? Are you afraid I'll show your new friends who you really are?
Welcome back to another video, Miraculous Fans, where the 6th season keeps giving new secrets and interesting developments. In the episode Daddycop, we learned that Zoe has some skeletons in her closet. She was one of the last main characters in the cast to debut, with her first episode being in Season 4. Despite being one of the newer characters, she's risen in fandom popularity and has become a notable hero throughout Paris. However, there's so much we don't know about her, including the past she keeps secret. In the after-credit scene of Daddycop, we learn that one of Zoe's former classmates, Ray, has moved to Paris from New York and attends school with the rest of the main cast. We also discover that Ray has information on Zoe that she doesn't want to be spread around, implying that he is blackmailing her about her former life. In today's video, I'll discuss what secrets Zoe may have kept hidden.
The nice thing about the digital world is that nothing ever disappears. Just like who you were back in NYC.
Number 1. Personal Minion. In Daddycop, Zoe and Sabrina have the chance to sit down, come to a new understanding, and form a brand new friendship. Zoe is one of the few people who recognizes that Sabrina was also a victim of Chloe's behavior, and that it took immense bravery to stand against her that last time. She also mentions that she knows how hard Sabrina is trying to better herself and make herself worthy of new friends, something that none of the other characters seem to recognize or outwardly express to her. Sabrina was less of a friend to Chloe and more of a personal minion who did her bidding. She notes that everyone remembers her that way and that no one trusts her because of it. In most instances, Sabrina helps Chloe pull off her schemes, break the rules, and bully others. However, she wasn't exempt from these experiences and could find herself on Chloe's bad side if she wasn't careful. Sabrina is self-critical because she knows she's made mistakes, while Zoe is more forgiving than her other friends. Zoe is genuinely a good person, but she may sympathize with Sabrina so much because she hurt someone else while living in New York. It's possible that she had a quote-unquote minion, someone to do her bidding for her when she attended her last boarding school. If this is the case, she may not have always treated them kindly, mimicking the behavior of her peers and her mother.
There's no way you're changing school, Sabrina. You're not Chloe's minion anymore.
Number 2. Chloe's copy. On that note, it's safe to assume that Zoe occasionally acted like Chloe's carbon copy, especially when at home with her mother or attending a social event posted by her family. To be accepted by her family and their particular social circles, she would need to abandon her morals to make a good impression. While she may not have met her half-sister until her teenage years, she did grow up with Audrey as her sole caregiver, from who we know Chloe learned most of her negative behavior. Growing up with Audrey, Zoe learned how to interact with others based on how her mother treated her colleagues and employees. It would make sense for Zoe to have acted similarly to Chloe in her youth, as she had no other direction. However, with positive influence from her peers and teachers, she likely realized that this behavior wasn't okay and only committed to the act to maintain her mother's approval. In her debut episode, we see some of this as she treats Marinette kindly until Chloe is nearby. When around her sister and other family members, she acted like a completely different person to keep the peace at home. Many of Ray's videos could feature moments from Zoe's life in New York where she acted unkindly or cruelly toward others. I wouldn't be surprised if they were framed without context. For example, she could have accompanied her mother to a fashion event with Audrey watching her every move. In moments like this, Zoe would naturally feel pressured to behave in a certain way.
Either you're proud of who you are, proud to be a part of my family, and walk in my footsteps, or you clear out!
Number 3. Devoted sidekick. Another reason Zoe could feel sympathetic towards Sabrina is because she was once in her shoes. We don't know much about Zoe's former life aside from the fact that she hid her true personality for the sake of fitting in and being liked. If she wasn't the most popular or richest girl in school like Chloe, which is unlikely if her boarding school was filled with Chloe-type characters, she might have found herself as the devoted sidekick to someone else. She could have played the same role that Sabrina played for most of the series, meaning she helped someone else bully others, pull cruel pranks, and jeopardize the rest of their classmates. While Sabrina disapproved of Chloe's actions and tried to dissuade her occasionally, she was also one of her greatest enablers, often looking the other way when her friend did something horrible. She behaved like Chloe's biggest fan, and as she explained in Daddycop, she genuinely loved Chloe despite knowing that she was in the wrong. Zoe may have been in the same boat. It has been confirmed that Zoe had one real friend in New York, Jessica Keynes, a teenager with a double life. She once helped her mother as one part of the crime-fighting duo, Sparrow and Night Owl, but has since received the Eagle Miraculous and made her debut as an independent hero. Jess didn't attend the same boarding school as Zoe, meaning Zoe was on her own most of the time and would look for ways to fit in with her peers. The easiest solution would have been buddying up to the most popular and doing whatever they said.
My little Sparrow was ready to become a fearsome eagle.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you, sir.
Number 4. Criminal record. I don't want to assume that Zoe has a legitimate criminal record or went out of her way to break laws around New York. However, she may have a criminal record due to putting herself on the line to protect someone else. In the episode Adoration, Chloe, Lila, and Sabrina try to frame Marinette for theft. With help from Monarch, Sabrina becomes an enhanced version of Vanisher using the dog Miraculous. She uses Fetch to store items from across Paris in Marinette's bag, making it seem like she stole from people who trusted her. When Chloe dumped Marinette's bag to frame her, Zoe stepped in and took the blame without a second thought. She knew that Marinette would never steal from others and that it was all an elaborate scheme executed by her sister, who had wanted Marinette removed from her class for several years. Zoe digs in deep and uses her acting skills, making up a believable story on the spot explaining why she would steal. I admire her tenacity because she didn't cave when faced with Andre's disappointment, as the pair had formed a close bond as father and daughter. If Zoe learned that people from her old school were planning to frame someone for a crime as a quick laugh or an elaborate prank, I don't believe she could sit idly by. Instead, she would try intervening with their plan or take the fall herself. If she did take the fall and allowed the crime to go on her permanent record, then her status at school would suffer. Not only would she no longer be in the popular crowd, but she would have gained a bad reputation that would impact how others viewed her.
Marinette had nothing to do with it.
What? No, Zoe.
Are you out of your mind? Who do you think you are ruining my indictment?
Number 5. Master Manipulator. Lila is widely considered the greatest villain of Miraculous Ladybug. She's had time to build that reputation since her debut in the first season and has repeatedly proven that she deserves that title. We've only had a few episodes with her wielding the Butterfly Miraculous so far, and already the stakes are higher than ever before. One of the main reasons Lila is a fantastic villain is that she is a master manipulator. She knows how to change her body language and tone of voice to adapt to different scenarios and people, making her look like a picture of innocence. She can hide in plain sight and become friends with anyone because she learns the right things to say. Does this sound familiar? The worst thing Zoe may be guilty of is manipulating others by changing her personality. She could have been her school's version of Lila, mingling with everyone and making friends with countless people, only to utilize these friendships to her advantage to keep herself afloat. None of these friendships would have felt real to her if they were all merely a means to an end. Naturally, she would want to keep this side of herself a secret, as it's just like Lila, someone all of her new friends had grown to hate.
I tricked Dupan Chang into thinking I'm her friend, and tonight on the barge I'll throw her disgusting macaroons into the Seine in front of all of her friends.
Although she's keeping secrets from her new friends, the information she's hiding isn't something they're obligated to know. She already came clean in her debut episode and admitted to changing her personality to fit in, and I suspect this is what she did in New York, to the detriment of making real friends and protecting her inner peace. Zoe is a kind, selfless, and courageous individual who would do anything to protect those in need. She's the perfect hero in this regard, and I hate to see her previous mistakes impact her role as Vesperia. Hopefully, her past won't come back to haunt her.
At your service, my queen. But Chloe's going to be furious. She used to be Queen Bee.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
I found roaches in my locker. Can you believe it?
Well, that's nice, dear. John Quentin, take her to see her sister.